Well, good morning, class. Nice to see you. Okay. How are you feeling today? Oh, good. Excellent. Good for you. You know, you're lucky. Yesterday, one of my friends called me that he said his computer was lost on his business trip in Beijing. Actually, it was stolen. So he was kind of upset. Do you have such kind of experience? Have your wallets, cars, or bicycles been stolen? Okay, Sherry, what about you? Sherry?
My mobile phone was stolen last month, and it's very inconvenient, and I bought a new one.
Yeah, good. Now, mobile phones now is be a must, right? Even for our college students. Yes, how many times can I ask? You just lost one cell phone?
Once.
Okay, you're lucky. Well, by the way, okay, I'd like to ask Johnny, okay, the boy. Now, how do you think about it? Do you feel safe nowadays?
I don't feel safe yet.
So what do you feel actually?
I feel upset.
You feel upset, yes. Maybe you feel afraid. You're afraid of being stolen, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, you know, nowadays a lot of things are threatening our life, right? Okay, today we'll just talk something about it. Unit 3, security. In the previous unit, we just discussed something happened in the United States. United States has become a land of the free. And today we will see what changes occurred in the United States and what makes the big change for the United States from the land of the free to the land of the lock. Okay, the teaching procedure during this period consists of 4 parts: approaching the topic, understanding the text, analyzing writing strategy, and doing the tasks. Okay, now let's get into our first task today. When you see the word security, what springs to your mind? Well, don't worry. I will give you several minutes for you to think about it. First of all, I'd like to show you something interesting. Have you seen the movie National Treasure? Starred by Nicolas Cage. Have you watched that? Yeah, some of you not. Okay. Now, I would like to show you a very short film clip about it. While watching, please pay attention to the security devices in it. Okay, let's enjoy it.
I've brought you to the Library of Congress. Why? Because it's the biggest library in the world. Over 20 million books, and they're all saying the same exact thing. Listen to Riley. What we have here, my friend, is an entire layout of the archives. Short builder's blueprints. You've got construction orders, phone lines, water and sewage. It's all here. Now, when the Declaration is on display, okay, it is surrounded by guards and video monitors and little families from Iowa and little kids on their 8th grade field trip. And beneath an inch of bulletproof glass is an army of sensors and heat monitors that will go off if someone gets too close with a high fever. Now, when it's not on display, it is lowered into a 4-foot-thick, concrete, steel-plated vault that happens to be equipped with an electronic combination lock and biometric access denial system.
Okay, just now you watched the film clip. What impressed you most? Yeah, of course, a lot of security devices mentioned here. What are they? Let's go through it very quickly. First is what? Video monitors. And next, heat monitors. And sensors. And bulletproof glass. And last is electronic lock. Okay. They are all advanced security devices. But I'd like to tell you, my friends, security devices like these are not only used in the important places, but also some common places. I'd like to give you an example. Cameras. Cameras can be seen everywhere nowadays. In the supermarkets, shopping malls, bus and railway stations, KFCs, libraries, kindergartens, and I even found it in the very small grocery stores in my neighborhood community. Maybe right now, in this classroom, several cameras are just watching you. Have you noticed that? Are you worried? How do you feel to be watched by a camera? Now, I'd like to hear some of your good ideas. Please tell me anything that might appear in your mind when you see the word security. Okay, now, Vera, would you like to say something about it? Okay, please.
I just remember the camera.
Oh, just remember camera, just
Yeah.
like as I mentioned, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can see everywhere.
You can see everywhere. What about the other people? Maybe they were watching you. How do you feel about watched by somebody else?
Yeah, maybe it's very nervous.
Yeah, nervous. Okay, good words. Thank you. By the way, what places do you think are the most insecure places? I remember a boy's name is very special. Waterman, right? The brother of Superman, right? What are the most insecure place? The place you feel dangerous.
Many streets. There are many people in the street.
Oh, the very dark, isolated street,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Especially at night, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good, thank you. Yes, a lot of things nowadays are threatening our life. For example, crimes like theft. And I believe everybody here heard about this news. A tragedy happened on March 23rd in the primary school in Nanping of Fujian province. 8 school children were stabbed to death and 5 others injured, right? Other security problems on food, information technology, and terrorism. It seems that the world we are living in is no longer a safe place. So common people just use the easiest way to protect their lives and property. For example, the heavy padlock and the long, strong steel chain, right? And look at this picture. This is the most striking one. Even the baby cart can escape the fate of being stolen. So the owner has no choice but to lock it to a tree nearby. I noticed some of you laughed when I showed this picture to you. Yes, they are laughable pictures, but more satirical. It is true that the insurance company will pay for the stolen goods. But who is going to pay for the new atmosphere of distrust and fear? People nowadays are so used to setting up barriers between each other, keep them away from their neighbors and fellow citizens. Why? And what will control our life? The answer I'd say in our essay, probably you will find the answer. Well, let's get into our second part. The text, the land of the lock. Literally, from the title, we may guess. The land of the lock. So, this place must be full of what? Full of locks, right? So that's the reason we call a land of the lock. Locks can be seen everywhere. So, what does this land look like? Is it a tradition or something new? You will find the answer in the following 2 paragraphs. Paragraph 1 and paragraph 4. Please go through the 2 paragraphs very quickly and keep the 2 questions in your mind. First is, what does this land look like? And the second question is, what changes have taken place? While reading, please underline the words, phrases, or sentences to show security situation. Okay, now you may get started. This is a paragraph 1. Go through it very quickly. Okay, have you finished? What have you underlined? Please tell me. The first part is what? Is a phrase. What's that? Thank you, good. On the latch. In the first sentence, in the house where I grew up, it was our custom, it's a tradition to leave the front door on the latch at night. So, what does on the latch mean? What? Yes, good. Some of you said on the latch because the author give us the explanation in the following part of this text, right? On the latch meant the door was closed but not locked. Remember, this is a reading skill we usually use when we meet a new word or phrase. Usually, the first thing you should do is go through the context very quickly, and the answer probably you will find it. Okay, do you have a clear picture about this on the latch? What does on latch mean? I will give you a picture. Just like this. You can see this door is just put on the latch. The lock is just put there without any actual function. Anybody can just open the door and walk in, even without a key. So on the latch means closed but not locked. Okay, more examples. Every night, the mother left the door on the latch. The mother kept the door unlocked so that her lost daughter would be able to come straight in. Well, this is a very important phrase in this essay. Now, please keep in mind. Let's go back to our paragraph 1, the text. Any other words or phrases or sentences have you underlined? Okay, thank you. Good. None of us carried keys. Nobody carried keys. The last one came back home, just closed the door, and that was it. I don't know whether this sentence reminds you of something. You know, this situation is very much alike in the 1960s or 1950s in China, right? It is said at that time, nobody picked up anything lost on the road, and nobody keep their door closed at night. For young guys as you, it's very hard for you to imagine, right? Can you just leave the door of your dormitory open and go away? No, of course not, because something will be stolen, right? You will definitely be blamed by your roommates. Yes, okay, but it did exist in the United States and China years ago. Well, let's move on to next paragraph. The same requirement. Please underline the words, sentence, or phrases to show the security situation. Well, what are they? Please tell me. First is what? Yes, deadbolt locks. And the next? Security chains. The third one? Electronic alarm systems. And next is tripwires. And the last one is sliding glass doors. Okay, thank you very much. If I want to give a general term for all this stuff, what shall I call them? A general term. Remember what we learned in the film? We call them what? Security devices. Good. So I would like to give you more pictures to show what they look like. See? This is a deadbolt lock. And that is a security chain, usually installed in our door, right? And electronic alarm systems. And this one is the alarm, and they're just like, as I mentioned, is cameras, right? Different kinds of cameras. And next, tripwires. Look at this first. Tripwires is a wire, actually, used to trip somebody over if he wants to break into your house, right? Okay. And this one, sliding glass doors with steel bars. Sliding glass doors usually put on our patio or balcony, right? And you can see that there are bars elegantly built in it. It will make the door very, very strong and hard for anybody breaks into, right? Okay. So with all these pictures, I'm sure you have a very clear image of the different security situation in the United States. So let's get a very quick review about this part. If you have a good memory, please speak along with me. In the house where I grew up, it was what? Our custom to leave the front door on the latch. Yes. Nobody carried keys. The last one come back home, just closed it. And now our house is surrounded by various kinds of security devices, yes, which make our house like this. Well, this is briefly about the main idea in paragraph 1 and paragraph 4. Now, I'd like to check how much you've learned. Please complete the following chart. You know, according to the author, United States has experienced a tremendous change, a very big change, from the land of the free to the land of the lock. The first place the author chooses is home. The author wants to show us the changes happened at home in the United States. So let's first fill in the blank of these two. What was our home like at this time? Good, on the latch. Very good. Leaving the door on the latch. And what about nowadays? Good, you got the keywords. People are taking various security devices. Besides home, there are two other sites also mentioned in the following paragraphs of this text. One is company, and next is airport. So, from the chart, it's easily for us to see that the author used a writing strategy of compare and contrast to show the different security situation in the United States from the perspective of home, company, and airport. Okay, here's the question for you. When you just read the two paragraphs, have you noticed, have you found any words or phrases like in the past, years ago, or today, nowadays? Have you found the words like this in your textbook? No, not a single word like this. So, without words, these words, how can we distinguish what happened in the past and what is happening nowadays? How can you distinguish? Well, next, I'd like to show you something interesting about the writing strategy. The author here uses a subtle tense change. Subtle, I like to explain to you. Subtle means skillful or clever, a very clever tense change. I would like to give you two examples. First, this is the first sentence in paragraph 1. In the house where I grew up, it was our custom to leave the front door on the latch at night. So you can see here, grew and was. What tense is used here? Good, past tense. To be specific, simple past tense. Which tense shows an action happened in the past, right? So you can see it is unnecessary for the author to use the words like in the past or several years ago, right? Because our audience, our readers, totally understand what he's talking about, right? Okay, the next example. Paragraph 4 is initiated with this sentence. It has been replaced by. Which tense is used here? Well, you see, I know, but it's hard to express in English, right? Okay. It is present perfect tense. Yes. Now, this tense indicates an action completed by the present time to show the current situation. So you can see from the two examples, the author used this writing strategy, the tense change, to make his writing neat and concise. Okay, next time, if you have this chance to write a composition like this, it is advisable for you to use the different change of tense. Hopefully, you will get unexpectedly good results. Okay, let's get back to compare and contrast. Just now I mentioned, this is a writing strategy used by the author, right? Have you ever thought about this question? Why? Why does the author use this writing strategy to show the difference? What's the purpose for him to show the difference for us? This is a picture I found weeks ago when I was surfing on the internet. Do you know the very similar saying by Shakespeare? Here, to luck or not to luck. You know, Shakespeare's famous saying is, to be or not to be, that is the question. Yes. Maybe nowadays, to luck or not to luck, that is the question. Think about this. Can we just feel relieved to leave home? Can we just no longer feel insecure in the workplaces or even at home? No. I do hope someday to luck or not to luck will become a personal choice. People will trust somebody else. Maybe this is the idea the author wants to tell us in this essay. Okay, much more information is available at the two websites. You can just write it down. And I hope the useful information there will help you to get a further understanding of this text. Well, let's get back to our last part, your homework time. Now, first, go over the new words and phrases we learned today. And number 2, please complete the chart of compare and contrast. The third one, please think more about the theme the author wants to tell us in this text. Well, that's all for this period of class. Thank you for your attention. See you next time.